somewhere else. With this style of distillation, what we're doing is we're recycling the hydrosol and using it as steam water. The reason for that is everybody familiar with deep spectra? You've heard the rumblings about deep spectra, correct? So the whole idea behind deep spectra and this style of distillation is that like compounds will attach to like compounds. So as we distill this lavender and we make the oil, we don't want to redistill the oil because we want it as pure as we can get it. Cohibition is a forgotten method of distillation because the idea behind distillation is every time you distill it, you get a more pure product. So when we talk about like whiskey in distillation, every time they redistill whiskey, it pulls out impurities, and then it's just more pure of an alcohol. We don't want that in our oil because if we pull out a bad property, that is one of the constituents that we want in that bottle. It's not a bad property, correct? So that's why we just recycle the hydrosol, which has oil constituents in it. As it boils and steam comes back up through, those same compounds, so lineol, will attach to the lineol and within the plant and help extract it more of it out. Now, lineol is just one example of how it works. So that's why you see the hydrosol not just being dumped out. It's going right back into what is the boiler, and we're redoing it. The reason that we're doing this R&D is for our Melissa yields, and we'll discuss those when we get down to the distillery. But we are heavy in research and development on how we can increase our Melissa volume with the same amount of plant material. This is one of the ways that we're trying that, is with cohibition. Any questions? Okay. So we use our mini stills to do a lot of R&D with new botanicals because the amount of plant volume that it takes to make the oil. And then we use our mini still before we harvest so that we can only take a little bit of plant material and then test that amount of oil to make sure that we're within that peak of harvest time to know that that way we're not doing 5,000 pounds, we're only doing 30 pounds. Because our big cookers down in the distillery hold 5,000 pounds of plant material. And I'll discuss all that when we get down there and you guys can see it. So most every farm has some style of miniature distillation. Yeah, most all the rest of them that you'll see, and not that there's anything wrong with it, they're boiling water below the plant material. So you're still doing a steam extraction, but I didn't like that style because it's not accurate to our big distillation unit. We don't boil water underneath the plant material. We boil water down here, make steam, and the steam is the only thing that comes in contact.
Thank you. I agree.
We didn't design this. We got online and found this system. I'm trying to convince the other farms to get on board with not boiling the water underneath the plants.
Because otherwise, people get misled.
Yep.
Because they don't know, right? They've never seen a distillery, they've never been here, they've never done anything, so that's sort of, yeah, it's very misleading.
And that's why I say this is a replica. So we have our boiler here, we have our cook kettle here, we have our condenser, and we have our separator, and we have our non-contact cooling water. So it is exactly like our big distillation units.
Yes.